We're not going to 2 services because I want to preach twice on Sunday. We're going to 2 services because we want to be faithful with what God has blessed us with. And so we're going to go to 2 services because it makes more room for worship. Do you know that right now some of our most faithful people who serve in our kids ministry and other places, even if they attend every Sunday in 2025, that they only get to be a part of 26 worship gatherings? Because every other Sunday they're in kids ministry. They're doing faithful work. They're doing important work over there. They're doing holy work. They're using their gifts. But I don't want serving to mean missing worship, because our community groups are sermon discussion based. When our community groups gather, they'll talk through the sermon. Because of that, the people who are in kids ministry, they'll use the live stream. They'll go back and they'll watch it on replay. That way they're ready to have the conversation. I'm thankful for that. The live stream is a gift that makes that possible. But listen, the live stream never compares to being in the room with God's people, to worship together and to participate together. 2 services will allow people to both serve and gather on a Sunday, to serve one, worship one. And so this is about increasing our capacity to worship together. We're going to 2 services to increase our capacity for worship and also for fellowship. When the net started breaking, what did the disciples do? What did Peter? They called to their partners. They called to their partners to bring the other boat, to help them, to bring more nets, to bring more capacity. When God does a great work, it creates more partnerships. We get to work together. And what Jesus is doing in this moment is he's recruiting these disciples who will make disciples who will make disciples. This is going to be a team of people who will pass the light to others. My favorite part of the Christmas Eve service, for those of you that are able to join us this past Christmas Eve evening, is when we take the candle from the Christ candle that we lit. And then I pass it to this person, and that person passes it to that person, and passes it to that person, because it's this visible illustration of what God did in giving the gospel to the disciples, who gave it to others, who gave it to others. Adding a second service gives us the opportunity to make most of moments that we have together, for these teams to form and for teamwork to develop and for fellowship to happen. It gives us more moments in the foyer. By going to 2 services, we'll have 2 opportunities for our pastors and our group leaders and our disciple makers to have conversations with people. For those of you that you're new here and you show up as late as possible and you try to get out of here as quick as possible, well, listen, we're not going to tackle you, all right? We want you to feel comfortable, and we know that we're all new and it's different, but we know that the relationships that are formed here, that God uses them. Going to 2 services isn't to split our people into 2 different times. It's to multiply our opportunities for connection. We're not just multiplying services, we're multiplying moments that we have together. So we're increasing our capacity for worship, for fellowship, and for discipleship. What Jesus is doing in this moment is he's not just filling nets with fish, he's changing Peter's heart, because he's going to invite him to come with him. And Peter's going to leave everything behind to just be with Jesus everywhere Jesus goes. Discipleship thrives on consistency, predictability, and accessibility. That's what Peter would have, being with Jesus all the time. With 2 services, we're going to offer Growth Track on Sunday mornings during the second service. The first Sunday of every month, new Growth Track's going to start. We've offered more Growth Tracks this past year than we have any other time. We've had more people graduate from Growth Track this past year than any other time. We're going to do even more of that in the coming year, because every month, the first Sunday of the month, will be a new Growth Track starting. It's going to happen during the second service. We've already got kids ministry happening. Most recent session of Growth Track we had some volunteers step up to make it possible for us to have kids ministry available while Growth Track was happening at 8:30. That's going to happen every time now. But that's not all. In addition to having greater Growth Track capability, we'll have opportunities to provide other classes and intensive during Sunday mornings. We're looking at possibly adding like a short session of classes on how to read the Bible and some other opportunities, things that can happen on Sunday mornings. So that Sunday morning isn't just a worship hour, it's a hub of formation. This isn't just about widening our reach, it's about deepening our impact. So we're doing this for worship, for fellowship, discipleship, and also for evangelism. You don't need a second boat when you don't have any fish. You need a second boat when you got a lot of fish. And praise the Lord, we've had more people come to be a part of our church over the past year. And 2 services increases our seating capacity, it increases our parking capacity, it increases our kids ministry capacity, but it also makes it easier for you to invite a friend to come to church, and you can say, sit with me. We're not just making space because we're getting full, but because we believe there are more fish out there that Jesus is sending us after. I'm overcome this morning with emotion over some of the lives that we've seen God do a powerful work in. They're going to be baptized today. Answers to prayers we have prayed for years. And I know there's other prodigal sons and daughters that we're praying for. I know that there are people in your life. I know that there are people at your job. I know that there are people on our street that God knows their name and that he is calling to them. He is searching for them.